Hello and welcome back to the From the Terrace podcast. Jack is behind the camera. Unfortunately, he has returned for the new term. We're still in season 2. Got a new setting now. We're back in the radio studios of what we did last year, aren't we?
Back
Feels
in
like
the
home.
roots.
Jack
Studio
Mate's
6.
recording next door.
Yeah,
Am I right?
Happy hour, man. Well, this setup is very professional. We got just looked at that camera over there, and Wayne is just Wayne hasn't even got a chair to sit down, so he's just leaning in the corner.
He's gonna be part of the furniture.
Yeah, yeah. Now we don't have to we only have to rely on Jack turning up now because Wayne will be here forever. just morphed into the wall. Anyway, obviously alongside me I've got Charles Endy.
All right.
He's back again.
It's not usually alongside you, is it?
No, I
You've
know.
got company now.
Across the table, Regan Valet.
Yes.
We're back in business, mate. Because it's been a while, been over Christmas, we've been away. We're going to sort of do a Premier League review like we usually do, but instead of sticking on individual games, we're actually going to look back at, as we're halfway through the season, our pre-season predictions for the Premier League.
Yikes.
Regan, do you want to get us rocking and rolling with where do you want to
Shake,
start?
rattle
Do you
and
want to
roll.
start at the top, start at the bottom? Where do we want to go?
Should we start at the bottom?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, 'cause it
starting at
gets
the bottom
worse
would
towards
work.
the top.
And
doesn't
plus, I want to get rid of the horrible at the bottom. The fact that I predict Sheffield United to finish bottom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
it? I mean, to be fair,
I
nobody.
think
can
I think Sheffield United is the first club to address because we've all put them in the bottom three.
free. Well, because their squad on paper before the start of the season.
Well, it's League
No.
One, isn't it?
You
Yeah.
got the likes of
Yeah.
Basham just playing out of his skin.
Who did they bring in again? Did they
Brought in Luke
anyone?
Freeman from QPR.
Callum Robinson.
They've literally just signed Jack Robinson from
Yeah,
Nottingham Forest.
they did, yeah.
Which I mean, these are the players. This is why what Chris Wilder's done so far this season is so impressive. Where are they in the league? Sorry, I need to get back up. I think they're 6th, Sheffield United, aren't they? They are 7th. What he's doing is so impressive. Like Jack Robinson, you'd say decent Championship player, good defender, but like you'd say the same
Horrible
about you'd say the same about Luke Freeman in midfield. You say the same about Callum Robinson, who they signed from the wing. I mean, Lisa Mousset, you would just say was a terrible Premier League striker. And he's got this team just like firing on all cylinders. Like everyone comes in, and this is why I'm so impressed with football. Has become. I saw it on the True Geordie podcast. On the Kickoff. Sorry, they talk about how football is changing from being a story about the individuals and the talented team to being about the system. And I think Chris Wilder shows that with how Sheffield United are now just anyone who comes into that side. It doesn't matter. I'm sure Jack Robinson will come and he'll slot into that back three and be a perfect part of that back three.
Can I say there are
over
some
the-
exceptions to the rule? Jack Rodwell.
Yeah.
I actually forgot he plays there.
Apparently Jack Rodwell was signed as well, not to be a centre midfield option, but to be a centre back option. Ooh, not too sure.
No.
Not too sure about that one. But it just shows how Chris Wilder's system is just flawless, in my opinion.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
They've had a few stand-up performances, especially Lundstrom, Fleck, and I would say McBurney's actually done. He's done all right.
McBurney's done well.
Yeah.
Lisa Mousset had a really good hot spell.
He did, yeah.
He's going to do
Obviously
nothing else
everyone-
with his career.
No. Obviously, everyone rates Dean Henderson as well.
It's fun. Yeah, he's been really good.
Yeah, he's been really good. Still wouldn't have him in England setup yet. Or maybe I'd have him as the
At
third.
all,
Maybe
or-
I'd have him in the setup, but he was still not my first choice.
Not my
goalkeeper.
goalkeeper.
No, not my goalkeeper. No. But to be honest, the reason we made those predictions, obviously, we're going to uncover how mid-table we guessed pretty correctly, didn't we? But I
Yeah,
mean,
it's
not
usually
that
both ends
difficult.
we
It's like-
struggle.
both
Yeah.
ends. And the reason we put Sheffield United in the bottom three, I mean, it's just the quality on paper, isn't it? It really looked like it shouldn't have went well. I don't think anyone predicted them to do this well. But
Not even Sheffield United.
no. Hey, well.
A team we
Terrible.
also
Terrible.
wait, no, he didn't. I think who was it?
He's fine.
I know it was. Yeah, all of us put Norwich in the bottom three as well.
Yeah, well, that's
What
fine.
Standard, isn't it?
Yeah, that's
It's been terrible.
No one's batting an eyelid on that. Timu Puki
Do you
going.
know what Norwich are? They're Huddersfield, but score more goals.
Yeah. Which, I mean, I
Yeah,
guess is
they are.
something.
A
It's
load of German nonsense they've bought. I mean, what?
Nonsense.
nonsense.
Yeah,
Oh.
nonsense. Yeah.
I don't know what you're thinking of.
No,
Charles.
yeah,
Sounds like a
Charles.
fullback they'd sign from like
Yeah, German
nonsense.
No, but like just who have they bought in this window in January? They've just bought I think was it Duda?
Rupp.
Was it Rupp and Duda or something like that?
Doodle.
Durdle Door.
Durdle
They
door.
bought that. No, yeah, they bought Rupp, and I just don't. I understand that. I fully go with how you want to stick to a philosophy, and I appreciate that. But I feel like spend a bit of money. It does.
Yeah.
I don't mean like spend loads, but like because I like clubs who stick to their philosophy. You can stick with buying German players from the German market if that is what you like. But to get yourself out of trouble, they're not going to do the business, are they?
No.
They needed to invest more, and I think
Mm.
Norwich have just left themselves stranded at the bottom. And
Does anyone care
uh,
about Norwich?
no,
No.
I don't think they do. I think no one wants Norwich in their league because they can't be bothered to go all the way to Norwich for an away day.
Mm.
Can we say also that none of us actually predicted Pookie to
Be their best player.
do well
I still
really
don't.
for
I
Norwich?
still
I put Norwich as. Who did I put as not? Wait a minute.
You put Norwich 19th.
Yeah, I
Good.
put Max Aarons as their best
Yeah.
player, and he's one of the ones who probably, even though I think he has struggled to start with to get the grips of the Premier League, he will definitely move on if they go down. I think he's one of the ones.
Yeah.
Don't you think? Yeah.
I put Farman.
Yeah.
I put Farman.
He
as
put
one of
Farman
mine.
as one of the best signings.
Well, because what is the point in starting Tim Krul? He's not keeping it cool.
You put Hernandez.
Well, I
I
quite
don't even
liked
know
it.
who.
No, Charles, you just saw on the Football League show he did a bit of pace, and you're like,
No, he was alright in the champ. He was alright.
He wasn't. He wasn't even there by best player.
Oh,
though.
Bill, do you really think I bring Championship lower league knowledge to this podcast?
No.
I spout some nonsense and have a go at some foreign manager.
It sounds like Paul Merson.
Paul Madsen, yeah. I haven't quite got the gambling addiction yet.
No.
But, method acting.
And then.
Yeah.
Who else have we all put in the bottom three? So like,
We.
so me and Charles both agreed on Brighton in the bottom three.
You
which
said
is
Brighton
looking-
bottom.
I put Brighton bottom. I put Morpie best player, which, to be honest, am I far off?
I think I was spot on because I put Trossard.
Trossard.
Yeah, but Morpie's definitely took well to the Premier League.
Yeah,
hasn't
Oh,
he?
yes, yeah.
He's been really good.
Especially when you had to go at Ezri Konsa.
Yeah, yeah, that was a fun fight. But the only weird prediction I thought, like, to be honest, I think there was cases we made for all of them. I did think your Burnley in the bottom three was a bit strange. Obviously, Burnley haven't been at their best this season, but I still don't think they're going to go down.
No, I think when they finished like 16th, 17th for last
Yeah,
season.
they're currently
and I
14th,
think they
and-
ended it quite badly.
Yeah.
So I thought, and who do they bring in? They brought in Jay Rodriguez.
Yeah, Jay Rodriguez. Was anyone else?
I mean, they
I'm
brought in
not too
Drinkwater
sure.
this window.
No, they didn't. Aston Villa brought in Drinkwater.
Oh yeah, it was they brought in. I can't. They brought in one of those midfielders.
Yeah,
that,
one of
like-
those
those
ones who's
mid-
been passed about.
Yeah, exactly. But when I saw their team, they finished season badly. It didn't really bring anyone in. I was like, oh, surely then they can't improve or anything like that. But their strikers again, Wood and Barnes, they just
This is the thing.
They just keep
It
scoring.
might not be impressive. They're going to go through bad spells because there's limited ability in that team.
yeah, there is definitely.
But the way it's another manager. He doesn't do it. Obviously, he hasn't done it. The way Chris Wilder's done with Sheffield United is ridiculously good.
Mm.
But Sean Dyche is another person whose system. He buys the right players. Sean Dyche. You've got to give him credit for that. He buys the right players who will always work for his system. They might not be the most talented, but he knows he is always going to buy someone who works hard. He's going to buy someone who can put in a defensive display. And then I think his business. Ashley Barnes has done well. To be fair,
Yes, yeah.
done well. He had Sam Vokes before he went to Stoke. He was a good player. But I think the Master Stroke was silent. I think Chris Wood was
Yeah,
a perfect
done
sign
really
for
well.
Burnley. He's done really well. But when you put him in the bottom three, but
Should we move up?
to be honest, we'll go after Premier League. To be honest, even if there's people we've put in the bottom three who aren't currently in the bottom three,
Still
but
possible.
from 14th down to
Brighton could still go down.
from 14th down
Yeah,
to
definitely.
19th. So there's like how many teams there? That's like six teams. There's 4 points in it.
Yeah, I
But
don't
still-
think it's too much of a disgrace.
No.
Other than
Um,
obviously Sheffield.
yeah,
really.
I
don't think we'll go through every team, but we'll go through maybe the ones we got the most wrong and the most
Wrong.
right.
Yeah.
maybe.
I think the best place to start is at the moment Bournemouth.
Yeah, we all predicted Bournemouth to do.
I said 12th, and you two said 11th.
Hey,
and
look, go down. Look at that. Crystal Palace, Tompkins. I think Charles thought Zaha was going to leave. No, because I remember justifying the Zaha thing, and didn't get his move. Not going to be motivated. And what's happened?
Oh,
It's been
alright.
pretty average.
good old Andre, are you doing the business?
Stop saying Andre. It's Jordan.
Oh, it is again.
Don't
Oh.
disrespect
Back
Jordan.
I'm caught in the championship.
God, it's like the Wright Phillips brothers. How the roles have been
I've
reversed.
been swallowed up by the championship.
Who were we talking about though?
Bournemouth.
Bournemouth. Yeah. Eddie Howe is having a nightmare.
He
isn't
is,
he?
yeah.
And Fraser's
But-
not been
No, Fraser's not been on it. Josh King's been out injured.
Wilson's only
Callum Wilson's just
come
Callum
back.
Wilson just came back, and we've obviously scored last night as we're recording this.
The fact
didn't
he's
he,
not the
against
best
Brighton.
Wilson of Bournemouth anymore.
Yeah. The thing is though, with Bournemouth, it could be the right time. I'm not disagreeing, but it could be the right time for Eddie Howe to finally move on. Bournemouth do look like they're struggling. They could go down this season, and I often don't agree that they will go down.
No,
They're 18th at the moment though, and they're on terrible form. Apart from their winning last night against Brighton.
that was.
but,
I thought that was quite surprising because I
So
watched the
did I,
highlights.
yeah.
They played really well.
Mm.
Which I
But we know
confused
Bournemouth
by.
can play brilliant football. It's just
Yeah.
we're just having a shocker. And then you have Ethan went to me, and I know Ethan, we slag him off a lot on this podcast.
And in real
Frisbee.
life.
And in real life.
As if this isn't real life.
Yeah, we don't just do it behind his back, we do it face to face. He said that I told you Eddie Howe was overrated. And I don't think a bad run of 10 games in one season is a way to say that this manager who has done so much for that club is overrated.
No.
I think that's ridiculous. I know Bournemouth have spent money, and maybe you could argue, I don't know if Eddie Howe is in charge of the transfers, but you could say he's bought badly. In some aspects, he has bought badly.
I mean,
Yeah.
Dom
but if you
Solanke.
still look, Dom. Oh my God! Don't get me started on Dom Solanke.
I feel like
if-
whenever that name gets brought up, it just
It's-
sparks something in us.
oh.
It's just like,
It's What a disgusting footballer. Anyway,
sure, he's a nice guy.
yeah, but not on the football pitch, mate. You're
Mm.
not. You're no good.
Go back to Solanke stores.
Solanke stores. No one knows what Solanke stores apart from me and you.
No, everyone knows Solanke stores.
Oh yeah. Do you know what Solanke stores is, Regan?
No.
No, it's a shop in Windmill Hill in
Don't
Bristol.
worry, Marco will
Oh,
appreciate
okay.
it.
But Bournemouth. What was I saying? Charles.
Eddie Howe overrated.
Eddie Howe
Oh yeah,
hasn't bought well.
he hasn't.
Ethan.
Apparently, if it is down to him, that is anyway.
Yeah, exactly. If it is down to him, but that squad is still average.
Yeah.
To keep it in the Premier League, like there's probably about 8 or 9 teams in the Premier League could easily go down. So it's not, if he did take Bournemouth down, I don't, even though it would be it would affect his record and it would be something put against his name. I don't think it's like a disaster. I don't understand where
I
this
feel
comes
like-
from. I don't.
No.
I feel like fans of Premier League teams, not necessarily Bournemouth fans, but I'm thinking like maybe Palace or Villa, and you look at the amount of points, the gap is literally nothing, and they think of their position in the Premier League as being a lot less fragile than it actually is.
Yeah.
Their fans go, all you need is one bad season, all you need is one bad manager, bad transfer window, and you can go. Obviously, there's a sort of a list of teams you go, right, they're never going to get relegated. But there's teams that just take it for granted their position in the
Yeah,
Premier
the-
League. It's not as stable as they think
The
it
bottom
is.
8 and 9 of most seasons could easily go down that next
Any
year.
season,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, there we go. We covered Bournemouth.
We definitely got moving to the next team, which
that?
West Ham.
no, the
Oh,
team,
we're
not
the
just
team
going
we
up with it.
predicted
Oh.
16th has somehow ended up in 9th.
Is this the Saints?
The
Saints.
Saints,
That's
yeah.
Saints. I mean, to be
Terrible.
honest, if we'd done this podcast maybe 5 weeks ago, we would be saying we were bang on.
Yeah.
What
What the hell?
Isn't it the last 5 weeks? Saints won like the third most informed team in the league. Do you say, Wayne?
Yeah, second or third.
They won last night 2-0 at Selhurst Park.
Two cracking goals, by the way.
Yeah, and Hassan was just turning it around out of nowhere, and this is what could happen to Bournemouth because Southampton were looking like what Bournemouth look like now. They looked like they couldn't buy a win. They're looking so disjointed, and especially at home, it was just absolutely atrocious. But Hassan was done well to turn it around. They're winning the way. They won some big games. They won at Chelsea. Where else did you win, Wayne?
We won away at Austin, big one away at Leicester.
Yeah, win away at Leicester. There you go. Some results you wouldn't have expected.
Almost got a draw against Wolves as well.
Yeah.
They were unlucky in that
They
second half.
got a draw at Molineux.
Yeah.
These results you didn't expect Saints to get, and largely it's down to Ralph Hasenhüttl. But I think you've
one
got the
man
bigger,
in particular.
Danny Ings has got to get
One
all the credit
man.
in the world.
Ethan Evans.
Yeah, it was down to Ethan.
Oh, it
Evans.
was, yeah.
But Danny Ings has been phenomenal, and to be honest, he should be in England set up for the Euros, especially with the injuries that are coming up.
Don't
Not-
tell Ethan that.
I'm not saying that he should. Not, this is if Jamie Vardy doesn't come out of retirement, Danny Ings should be in the
Oh,
setup
do, you
because,
do you think he would?
Danny. I don't think Danny
No.
Jamie Vardy will. A lot of talks, but Danny Ings is he's not as good at it. He's got time to go. Danny Ings is similar to Jamie Vardy in the sort of work rate in the way he plays, isn't he?
Yeah. The bulldog.
Yeah, I think
Pitbull.
England could do with that option, and Danny Ings, I think he's the second top goal scorer in the division at the moment.
14 goals, isn't
he's got
he?
14
Jamie
league
Vardy's
goals.
on 17.
I think he's 14 league goals and 18 or 19 in all competitions.
That's crazy.
He scored a lot against
And,
the
and
top
we're,
six as
we're
well,
only
hasn't
just
he?
over halfway through the season, and I mean, to be honest, as well as Saints are playing, it is down to him, isn't it?
Well, I mean,
The goals are just coming from him.
yeah, but even the games recently we've rested. him.
Ward Prowse has
Still
been
winning.
fantastic last
Yeah.
few games. Got to give it to him.
Ward-Prowse has been brilliant.
Pocketed Zaha last night. Like, wasn't even there.
But it's just fair play to Southampton. They've just turned it around out of nowhere, and they currently.
Things as well. Like we're battering teams as well. We're
Yeah.
not just winning. We are
Yeah.
actually, we could have had 6 or 7 against Leicester. Same yesterday.
With your defence, though, you got a better teams, didn't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one.
To be fair, they haven't been that bad this.
No, they haven't been that
last-
bad. But I'm
Stevens and Bednarek scored in the last.
if
last few
Hasenhüttl,
games.
if
It's
Hasenhüttl,
been good. It's weird.
if Hasenhüttl keeps up this form for the season and say he's got Saints in 9th for the amount, I'm sure Saints fans would love to finish 9th. To be honest, I'm sure they'd take 9th. If Hasenhüttl can keep this up, there's still a long way to go. He could drop off a form again because it wasn't that long ago we were they were in the bottom 3 and looked in trouble. If you give up, they will need to invest in defence. I think next season. Obviously,
Yeah.
you can invest in all areas, but invest in defence. Saints could be on their way back to being a decent side again. They've had a really bad few years. But
I think
Hasenhüttl
they
looks
could
like
have been even better if Che Adams again. Because we keep going back
Mate,
to him, but that's
even,
a terrible signing.
it was never going to work. If you knew the Football League, it was never going to work.
Imagine if they
Absolutely ridiculous.
if they spent that amount of money on a defender, they could be
Yeah.
higher up than they are now.
His goal score, Jay Adams got one set on Jay Adams. His goal scoring record in his career is terrible. He had one very good season at Birmingham. He scored, I think, 19, 20 goals in the league. The reason he got hyped up so much is because Birmingham been strived of any good footballers for years. I'm not wrong.
You know,
Brentford
you
rejects.
are right, yeah.
They have been striving, and he had pace and power and all the things. But to be honest, you'd thought under Hasenhüttl, he would. I think Saints fan says he hasn't actually performed that badly, but you'd have thought he'd perform better because he does suit their system. But in goals, Southampton fans have got lucky with Danny Ings coming back and being injured because they were really struggling with a proper goal scorer the seasons before, and they genuinely thought Che Adams was the person who could help fix it. And I said, you are wrong. And look, he hasn't scored a goal for them. He got a couple of goals against some Chinese team in pre-season. Get out. I'm sorry, I don't like Che Adams.
Any arguments, Wayne?
He's just another Shane Long. Really.
Yeah, exactly.
He's there for when Shane's contract runs out. Exactly the same.
But Shane Long is better than Che Adams.
Shane Long's going to get another move in the Premier League and I'm going to hate it.
No, but
I'm going to love it.
I know,
though.
but this is the thing though. Like, I
He's
just
a
went in on Che Adams so much, but I think it's because of the hype around him. If I went on him,
Yeah.
but I love Shane Long.
Yeah.
I actually love him.
I like Adams because he is exactly the same.
Yeah.
It's just like running, like closing down.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure in your team you can't dislike him. I just thought
Just doesn't really justify.
he just doesn't justify the hype at all. And
No.
this isn't a blip season. He won't be good in the Premier League. He's not a Premier League striker. Anyway, Regan, do you want to move on to another team we maybe got wrong or so right?
We'll zip through a few of these. I mean, actually, we'll talk about this one because our average player of the week or average player of last night
Oh yeah, so
plays for this
sort of a
team.
mix from last weekend and
Yeah.
we're missing this.
But I
week.
think after what happened last night, it's got
Yeah.
to go to him.
Jack, you're going to be happy with this one? Well, actually, I don't know. It depends.
We just
Depends,
talked about-
depends who you're swinging for today.
We
You
just
say
talked about his
Newcastle or Saints.
We just talked about his team, man. His team's ninth.
Oh right, yeah,
Team's
sorry.
ninth, man. Move on.
Florian Lejeune is average player of the
The
week.
week.
Of course, he scored a 94th minute and a 95th minute goal to bring it back to 2-2 at Goodison Park, including, as Charles labels it, a Dimitar Berbatov-esque overhead kick.
Yeah, it's the ones where your bottom leg
Was
just
that-
doesn't go off the floor.
Was that the first goal we got back? 'Cause I
Yeah,
don't
that
think
was
I've
the
seen it.
latest
The
goal.
second goal, I loved. The scramble in that 6-yard box.
Yeah.
Inject it
Steve
into my
Bruce.
veins.
I bet you they practiced for that in training. Steve Bruce like, we're going to practice goal line scrambles this week.
Because the thing is, if you actually watch it, you can't actually see the moment it goes over the line.
Yeah, you can't.
Yeah, it's just absolutely
mental.
ridiculous. I loved it. Florian Lejeune,
What is Ancelotti
I am very
thinking?
happy with that average player of the week. 'Cause I think for a while that is the most average we've had for a while.
Yeah.
Probably since.
But in
Calvert
terms of
Lewin, though.
in comparison
Yeah,
of the contribution and
Oh,
the
I mean,
average,
amazing. He scored 2 goals in the 95th minute, and he's a defender for Newcastle.
Not even.
I just absolutely love it. And do you know what? I have never been a big fan of Newcastle. Yeah. I'm not actually hate the club, but I just mean like I've always thought boring every year, boring. And I know they don't play amazing football this year either. But there's just something about Steve Bruce's Newcastle I actually love.
Yeah.
I really do like you this season. Every time I always put you to win when you're at St James's Park.
Yeah.
It's just I love Newcastle this season. I think Steve Bruce did an amazing job. Shows that Rafa Benitez is just Steve Bruce but with a foreign name.
Rafa Benitez, Steve.
Give
Bruce.
Steve Bruce the Real Madrid side. He would dominate. Huh? He would. Steve Bruce.
Nah,
is-
no, all I can
No,
say
but
is
I think Steve Bruce got way too much stick when he got first appointed Newcastle. I understand the stick because they thought we've gone from Benitez to Bruce, but if Newcastle fans say Bruce has done no worse than Benitez, you can't argue that.
this is a question out to the fans watching. What's more influential?
Not Jack.
Jurgen Klopp's hugs or Steve Bruce's little arse slaps he does at half time? That's the big question.
Tell me what motivates a player more. I can't see past Bruce's arse slap. To be
I'm
honest.
sorry, but can you imagine the look on Ancelotti's wife when Ancelotti comes home and just realises he's been done an absolute masterclass by
Yeah,
Steve Bruce?
Ancelotti goes back to his mansion. He's like,
Pop
they pop open a bottle of wine. His wife's there, and he's like, she's like, Carlo, how was work today? And she just sees the highlights, and it's just Steve Bruce running down the Goodison
don't
Park
wanna talk
touchline.
about it.
No. Do you reckon Carlo Ancelotti's wife's gonna leave it for Steve Bruce?
I'm not getting paid enough for this nonsense.
Yeah, let's move on.
I
from
mean, while we're on it,
Newcastle,
we might as
yeah.
well talk about Everton.
Everton.
Just a quick.
Oh yeah,
just quickly.
Ancelotti's sort of
Wamcelotti
is doing his stuff.
doing his stuff.
He's started off well.
He started off well.
He's solidified it a bit, hasn't
It's still like underwhelming for Everton, and they do Everton
Yeah.
things like last night. But let's be honest, they were in the relegation zone when he took over, or just outside.
Oh, they
They're
were never going to
12th
get
now.
relegated with
12th
Ancelotti,
now.
were they?
I mean, this is mental. I've really just realised they're 12th. Yeah, 3 points off Sheffield United, 4 points off Wolves and
What?
Manchester United.
Everton only 3
Yeah.
points off Sheffield United.
That's how close it is.
Outside the top four, it's been terrible.
Yeah. it
Oh,
has, isn't
worst
it?
league ever.
We say worst league ever. I enjoy it like this.
It's
I mean, I don't enjoy the title race like
It's
this.
more competitive.
But when it's outside of the top four, I like this.
It's
This
more
is-
enjoyable,
yeah.
I think, this
Yeah,
way.
I like it. But yeah, Everton. I think it's just gonna have to be with them. It is a rebuilding process, Everton, isn't it? Like that team, they have got some very talented players, but
Shout
like,
out
Charles,
Mike King.
Charles genuinely like punches the sofa. He screams out. He gets angry when Dominic Calvert-Lewin scores.
Oh, mate, there's
because
nothing that gets more
every goal
riled
fuels
up.
more for Dominic Calvert-Lewin. The argument for Dominic Calvert-Lewin to be brilliant, and
He's a championship striker.
he really is. Like
He's a championship striker who keeps getting.
He
Oh,
plays in a good
oh,
team.
he's a young lad. He's still learning the league. You've been in the Premier League for 4 years. Come on.
Do we to look up the age of Dominic Calvert-Lewin?
Oh, Dominic Calvert-Lewin
He's
is
got to be like
definitely
24. or something.
Calvert-Lewin. I'm not
Type of Clavert.
Calvert-Lewin.
He's 22.
Okay, so he's
Jesus.
younger than I thought, but look. All right, so look
But
at
like-
the picture. There's a picture of the Man United logo next to his face.
Oh no.
He should be playing in Sunday League. I hate him. Calvert-Lewin. I hate you,
No,
man.
but I would like if he actually became good enough that like he was actually making a good impact for England and stuff. I would like him, but he's never going to become that. So I feel like his whole career is going to be fueling the argument of when he gets a few goals, people will be like he's a good player, but mostly he's not going to be pretty. Should we move on from Calvert-Lewin?
It'd be
and
funny in
Everton? I
8
think we
years if he
should,
scores the World Cup winning goal for England.
Yeah. I mean,
You know what is everyone chucks their pint up, go, yeah, I'll just chuck mine on the floor, just like,
no.
no, man.
So I mean, I know we can't mention every team. Wolves are impressed, like we said they would. We didn't get far off of Wolves. They're close. They could close in on the top
To
four.
be fair, when I looked at him, looked at predictions in like October, where they were like what? Weren't they bottom at one point?
They drew. They
Yeah.
didn't lose that many, but they drew almost
Yeah.
every game.
We all predicted West Ham to have a good season. I mean, they're not having a good season, but
I
let's
think
be
that was
honest.
pretty
No,
poor
but let's be
from
honest.
us.
No, but it's another team that. Look how close the Premier League is. By the end of the season, West Ham could easily be 10th
Under
or 9th.
Moyes.
They could. No, they could easily.
Under Moyes.
Leicester's one, but obviously we've got to talk about. We put them all. We all said they'd have a good season. But obviously,
we said
nowhere,
7 and 8.
7th, 8th, but nowhere near where they are now.
I don't think
anyone
anyone's
else?
Can we
having-
say we
And
all
then
put
the-
Arsenal 4th?
We all put. Yeah. Should we go on to move on to the top four now because
Yeah.
we'll be here all day otherwise. Top fours. I'm gonna just go through the whole top four and see what everyone
from
put.
first to
First
sixth?
from first to four because it's the top four.
We haven't. You're not talking about fifth and
Quick
sixth?
maths.
All right. Yeah, all right. I'll put in 5th and 6th, but
All right.
all right.
All
Alright,
right.
We
okay.
got,
Well,
yeah,
you've
yeah,
negotiated
yeah.
that.
So we all put Man City to win the league. This is where it gets. This is where it gets.
Predictions over. Cheers.
My analysis is going to come mainly from sound effects from now
Yeah,
on.
This is where we have issues. Okay, this is where we have issues. Regan put Liverpool to come second. It's Liverpool, Man City between the title. I mean, Liverpool won the league. We all know this. Me and Charles both put Tottenham Hotspur to come second.
Oh.
Where are they now, Bill?
They're ninth. No, they're not. They're eighth. They're eighth.
What were we thinking?
So Regan put Spurs first. Me
That-
and
I mean,
Charles
that is-
third. Me and
that
Charles
is
put Liverpool
woeful.
third.
I've also put their best.
And then we've
player
all
being
put
Dombele.
Arsenal in fourth place. And then Chelsea and Man United were the two teams between us. We both put fifth and sixth. It was sort of.
Which they're fourth and fifth.
Yeah, so we're not that
yeah,
far off.
no.
Chelsea-
Personally, I think, as much as I guess they kind of work in tandem, but putting Liverpool third is
Charles.
it's shocking.
I hate Charles sometimes.
Cheers.
More editing for Bill.
More editing for me, like it's just absolutely ridiculous. But anyway, yeah.
Honestly, I think
yeah,
that's.
I mean,
that's
I
the
don't.
worst
There's not
thing
much
I've ever done.
explanation. But we should probably get off what we put. But I mean, we're putting out there. Me and Charles both put Liverpool
Liverpool third after they got 100 points.
We didn't get 100
A
points. they got
99, whatever?
97 it was.
97. We are terrible. Right, move on. Otherwise, my prestigious footballing analysis career could be down
We
the
could
pipe.
be all here all day.
And can we say quickly that out of the predictions we made, Charles got the most right so far. He's got 2.
Two, and that's
what,
the
a lot of
most.
league positions.
Yeah.
And that's
That's-
the most.
You've
the
got
most.
one. I ain't got any.
That is why do you watch us? This is absolutely atrocious.
Anyway.
I think we're right. Should we talk about
Wait till
the
the end of the
results
season.
for this week on the actual predictions? quickly?
Yeah, this week for the actual weekly predictions, and maybe you can do the overall score. See where
Oh
people
yeah,
are.
yeah. Well, we won't count this week at the moment because obviously when we're recording, there's still games going on.
Yeah. Okay.
But oh god, last week. Oh my god.
I know I've had a shocker.
You got 3.
Is that the best?
Yeah.
Oh my.
3, 2, 1.
So what's the overall leaderboard looking like?
That is.
Third place. Yes, Bill Taylor.
Oh, I was top.
On 109.
I'm sorry, just chuck an octopus in here to do our job. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Uh,
chat about football and that.
Charles is on 113 and I'm on 116.
And what is that?
So I'm like really starting to slip behind
You're
now.
4 behind Charles.
Oh no.
And that's when you know you're in trouble.
Yeah. Oh.
And this week, the only one you've got right is Southampton to beat Palace.
That's the only one you got
We
right.
both said City, Sheffield United draw as well.
Only one. Like there should be some bankers.
You
every
literally
week,
have
but-
a 1/3 chance. Well, there's about there's 10 games.
There's 11 this week as well because Liverpool.
Oh,
play
we may as well
twice.
just start doing it randomly. Do you know what I
Yeah,
mean? Like
yeah.
picking out of a hat.
he always waits for me as well to make my predictions,
Yeah.
and he does his afterwards.
I do mine like as soon as I take a screenshot and then I added yours in, and when I see yours, I'm like, oh, they're nothing like mine.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
Oh dear.
Anyway, do you want to move on to me and Regan thought? Speaking of the Premier League, we've got to talk about some teams that may be in there next season.
Speaking of, right.
We were speaking of the Premier League, weren't we?
So now we're talking about the championship.
Yeah, but talk about the teams, the promotion.
Talking
race
about the
stuff.
championship. Let's move on to League
League
One.
Okay. Well, right. We're gonna do a little sort of. I think I don't know if Charles gonna have much input on this, but me and Regan gonna do a little predict. We're gonna review the form of the teams chasing the playoffs and in around the top 2, and predict who we think will be the 3 that go up at the end of the season.
can we say
We're-
both our prediction for first is catastrophic?
Are we really going to go for our championship predictions from last season?
I think we should just say that we
Should we
both
just-
predicted Cardiff to come first.
move on.
Really?
Yeah.
And as I look at it,
Did I do any predictions for this?
No.
No, I've done
Oh,
I've done
didn't
notes of. What makes that worse? I've done notes of who I think all of the teams that are still within a chance of playoffs are. And Cardiff aren't even in the conversation, and I
No,
put them
they're
to win the league.
They're not even close.
They're 13th in the league. Anyway,
Thanks a lot.
Regan, we're going to go through. At the current championship top 6 is West Brom top with 53 points, Leeds second with 52, Fulham third with 48, Brentford fourth with 47, Forest fifth with 47, but they have a game in hand that they're playing tonight, at home to Reading, and sixth Preston with 46 points. Then outside of the playoffs in the chasing pack, we have Swansea 7th, Millwall 8th, Bristol City 9th, Sheffield Wednesday 10th, and Blackburn 11th. Between 3rd place Fulham and 11th place Blackburn, there is only 8 points. So obviously, it's still very close.
Yeah.
But who are you thinking looks? Obviously, I mean, it says it's for itself, the top 2. But who do you think is looking the strongest position to get promoted now? Maybe the teams that are most informed, the teams that you think
Automatically, West Brom and Brentford.
See, a lot of people are saying that.
I'd hate to say because I can't stand your side
Why can't you stand our side?
because I hate you.
Cheers. He can't. It's not that he can't stand aside. He hates me.
Yeah.
He can't-
Everything you represent.
Yeah.
But yeah, I literally just because you drew 0-0 with Huddersfield, didn't you?
Yeah.
But I think that's just a blip.
To be honest, the only problem I think that's going to set Brentford back is squad depth.
Is
You are quite.
We have a
You
very
lack. Yeah.
we lack squad depth, and that's why I think one in every sort of 4 or 5 games. Not that we just have an off day. Like it's not that we're like terrible and we just like all over the place. We concede 4 goals, but we just have one of those days where we can't really get up for it, and it just ends up being a really flat game. One in every 4 or 5, which is what. But it is really close at the moment. And a lot of people are saying Leeds are absolutely in free fall, as are West Brom actually at the moment. Leeds and West Brom, if you combine their last 6 games together, there's 2 wins out of possible 12. Obviously, they both got 1 win in 6, and both of those wins were against Birmingham City, who aren't exactly a stellar side. So Leeds and West Brom are in free fall, and I think that if Brentford get promoted, it's not because. I mean, we are a very good team. I'm really happy with the way we're playing this season, but it will be because Leeds and West Brom have absolutely
Oh yeah.
You've taken
Like,
the chance in the
they've
worst
taken-
quality league,
yeah,
basically.
yeah.
Before Christmas, you'd say that. Well, it's just gonna be those 2.
Yeah.
No one will get any. No
There's
one
this,
will get
there's
close.
this thing that keeps getting posted on Twitter is how close Brentford are to the top 2, and it's gone from like in the last like 6 game weeks, it's gone from 13 points to 5. That is really that is a lot, because you have to remember these are top teams that are dropping points. It's not like the relegation is over on 5; it can change quite a lot. But at the moment, the most informed side are actually Nottingham Forest, although Brentford are up there.
I think I think they're my pick to go up through the playoffs.
Nottingham
if it stays like
Forest.
this, yeah. Only because
Forest in the Prem,
Only
that'd
because
be
I
nice.
don't think we're good enough to keep. This is Fulham to keep the consistent results up to get automatics, and against the top 6 and any team near that can't perform.
Bill, why are you basing the desk?
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I agree with your thoughts on Fulham. To be honest, because I think Fulham got some very good players. They're sort of a team that's just been built around just trying to get straight back out of the Championship. It feels like it's just you signed Cavaliero permanently in January. You made it, and you got the likes obviously Anti Knockout on there, and you got Mitrovic. I know he's
Also,
out for a few
Michael
weeks.
Hector started off fantastically.
Yeah, you really like Hector, don't you?
Yeah.
But the reason I don't think Fulham will go up is the no confidence in Scott Parker whatsoever.
Yeah, and I think our track record against the top 6, we blew that last minute lead against West Brom, beat Leeds, got battered by you, lost to Forest. I think we lost to Preston, and then we narrowly beat Swansea.
Yeah.
It's not looking good.
No. As for the other teams, obviously, other teams, we talk about Brentford, Fulham, Forest, Leeds and West Brom. We've got Preston in 6th. They were doing very well at the start of the season, didn't they? They died a bit of a death.
Were they second for quite a bit?
Yeah, they died a bit of a death, but they've come back now, and I think this is the place where I think it's really hard to be honest. Although I'm still worried, it's very close points wise. We're only Brentford are currently, who are in 4th, are only 2 points clear of 7th.
Yeah.
But I do think that the teams outside, there is a big quality. Even though the points have suggested there's a big sort of disparity in the quality. I think West Brom, Leeds, Fulham, Brentford, and Forest. I don't want to say this, but are guaranteed top 6. They're not guaranteed, but you know what I mean. Like, I really think they will be the top in the top 6.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. Yeah.
And I think the rest is left to fight out between the likes of Preston, Blackburn, Sheffield Wednesday, Bristol City, Millwall, and Swansea.
Somehow Millwall.
Just because for once I finally think it's not that it's impossible, because obviously it is only really close to points, and Brentford could get an injury. Like with our small squad, an injury would ruin us. But it's just, I've got so much confidence. When I look at those teams, it's weird because the points are so close. I just think we're so much better than them.
Yeah.
I personally think Brentford are so much better than Swansea, Millwall, and Bristol City and the likes of them. Who do you think out of those sort of training pack though and Preston would get in the playoffs though? Maybe make the top 6.
I mean,
personally, I wouldn't put it past Millwall at the moment.
I would only rule out Millwall. I would only rule out Millwall as one of it, only because I just can't see it.
I know Millwall's team on paper, but I just getting results.
Imagine
Yeah.
Millwall beat West Ham in the Premier League.
But this is the way I think. Like Swansea, Swansea probably could get in it. They're, I'll be honest, Preston probably should get in it.
That's who I think.
Preston probably
That's
should
what
get
I
in it.
think,
And I'll be honest,
Preston.
but I think out of the chasing pack who are outside it, Millwall are my best bet, because I think Swansea, I think they're too lightweight personally. Bristol City, I think, are just a terrible football team, and they've had some real problems with Lee Johnson this year. And that club is not in one like that club is not on the same page with everyone, the fans and the players, and they've got the potential if they'd got rid of. I think Johnson's very limited. He does
He's a
well.
very small man.
He can get a team that is pretty decent up to a decent position like 9th or 8th challenge playoffs, but he's
Stay
never
there.
he's never going to take Bristol City get promoted.
No.
no chance. Sheffield Wednesday, they got all obviously the problems outside of the club, the financial problems, and they just lost 5-0 at home to Blackburn.
Yeah.
I've rated Wednesday in the season, but I think I'm a bit worried about it. And then Blackburn, I just don't feel good enough, especially with Bradley Dack's injury.
I think out of the top 6, this is literally the only difference I could see is literally Leeds and Brentford swap places.
Really?
Yeah.
So you're 3 promoted. Who would you go for the playoffs as well? You'd go Forest, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
So you're going West Brom, Brentford, and Nottingham Forest to get promoted. I'm gonna go West Brom.
We haven't got all day.
West. No, I'm gonna agree. I'm gonna agree with Regan.
Oh, I've
West
left
Brom-
something in the
West Brom,
oven.
Brentford, Forest. I've been saying on Twitter a lot, but I don't think Forest will get all the top 2 because I think they'll bottle that.
Yeah.
But in the playoff games where it's tight against the top 6, I think Forest are actually good set up well for that sort of thing.
The only thing that I could say that Fulham will go up is automatics. If it
Yeah.
goes to playoffs, we're not getting it. That's simple.
I don't actually believe Brentford can go up, but I know we're good enough. So
Yeah,
that's why I put
definitely.
us in the top 2. And Leeds are I just know to bottle it. I said they would begin. They will bottle it. Leeds.
Yeah, they will.
It's amazing to watch.
It
It's
is.
great stuff. Great entertainment. Anyway, should we
Does anyone care what I think?
No, shut up. No,
I don't even care what I think.
I didn't
to
even
be
have
fair.
to tell you to shut up. You didn't really want to talk.
No. I don't know. I like the Championship. I just don't know anything about it.
Before we move off the EFL, should we give out a little performance of the week?
Think so.
Adrian
Was it last night the game?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, Peterborough beat Wycombe Wanderers 4-0.
Good old Tommy
Um,
Creswell.
Peterborough. what are you guys on about?
Adrian Lewis's showerhead has to get performance of the week.
For God's sake.
If there's one difference between the last series the last semester term from the terrace and this one, it's the inclusion of darts.
Yes.
Yeah, Charles has just found some newfound love for it.
Oh yeah, I've heard about your dartboard
I hate football.
from the Oki podcast.
From the Pally podcast.
Right, let's move on. Hot topics.
Yeah, Peterborough beat Wycombe 4-0.
Peterborough beat Wycombe 4-0. Wycombe are falling apart. Peterborough got a good chance.
I
going
blame
up.
Tom Creswell.
Yeah, so do I.
Yeah.
Hot topics. We only got one this week because couldn't really be bothered to look that far back on Twitter because we've been gone a while. But FA Cup replays is the topic this week,
Should
and
there be
the
them?
discussion is should there be them?
Yes.
A lot of the argument from big club fans, and I've got some quotes from Gary Lineker and Jurgen Klopp here, that they should get rid of the FA Cup replays. But obviously, the argument for most of football fans seems that if you're in the lower leagues, you love an FA Cup replay. You love the chance of
Oh yeah.
lower league clubs rely on it. That like if that is such a big boost to them.
I mean, that's literally it. Is that the argument? Like,
Is-
the top tier are just going,
Well, too many games. I hate this idea that Premier League clubs play too many games. It's an absolute joke
It is a
because teams
joke.
in non-league and League 1 and League 2 play more games than them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they have these people have less of this or less of all the technology that can help them recover better. They have less of that. They get paid so much less. You don't see League 2 players coming out and moaning about the Christmas break. A lot of them love it. And
Yeah.
although they do note that they're tired, and managers always go, "Yeah, we've got to rotate through this period." We'll just rotate through that period. Why do big clubs like big teams like Jurgen Klopp managers like Jurgen Klopp have to moan about it, and Pep Guardiola's moaned about it? It's just so self-entitled. Like this football is moving so far towards the upper tiers of the game, and it's just like there's no balance to it at all, and they just keep getting greedier and greedier.
Yeah, they're big.
Because I'm personally not actually a big fan of FA Cup replays. To be honest, I wouldn't personally be a big mind if they went to, but I understand the argument and understand why they have to stay, and I'm for the argument for what to say, even though I don't actually enjoy them. Like I always think, if we draw this game, we've got to go another one. Like that sounds boring.
But it
to me.
means everything to
But
the little clubs.
But when Brentford were in League 1 and League 2, I loved the FA Cup replays, so I could completely understand why they need to stay. But you look, you've got Gary Lineker said, bit controversial to get rid of the replays of the FA Cup, 90 minutes only, no extra time, penalties if it's a draw. It's a thing from a bygone age. Would give smaller teams a greater chance of going through. We're the only country that has them. Just a thought.
True.
So you're for FA Cup replays going away.
I know. I'm just saying what he's saying is true, as in we're the only team to.
We're in a
we're the
Oh,
only
right.
country. I
is that true? I'm not sure that is true. I'm pretty sure there is other European nations that do it.
I don't think the major ones do.
No.
Only because I don't think they take their. Well, obviously being English, the FA Cup's like priority. I don't think
No,
they
don't
take it as high priority.
No.
But in my entire opinion on it is that I think they should scrap it after a certain round.
Yeah.
Just because when you think of like all the smaller teams, they're usually gone by like fourth,
Yeah,
fifth. When
but
do
You
then-
see the
but
big
then-
teams
but
getting
then
bigger
it-
and all the
it's-
smaller teams
it's hard-
falling behind the wayside.
It's hard to say that though, because even though that is a solution to it, like, what if you do get a team that gets in, like a small team?
Exactly,
Gets to
that's the
further
only
out?
thing against it.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I can think of is satisfying both sides.
But Jurgen Klopp's also said, have a penalty shootout. The explanation against that is that the smaller teams have a chance to win the game, then give them the home game in the first place. Go there, play there. If they beat us, congratulations. He said. It just just a disregard for the FA Cup completely from High
Also, what you got to
really
realise
annoys me.
with say you had a return fixture, let's say against a Premier League side, it's the event of it. You're going to get
Yeah.
people going to the game who wouldn't otherwise go to the team.
Exactly.
It raises the profile of the club, and also obviously you get potentially the television rights as well. So for Jurgen Klopp to come out and say, "Oh, all our players are all a bit tired. Oh, well, buy more players.
Yeah.
You've got enough money. Let the small teams enjoy the success that they can have from a replay." So. Please, Jurgen Klopp, stop being so self-entitled. Gary Lineker,
Don't talk about Gary
a
Lineker.
flavour of crisp. Does anyone care? You've
some
already
of
got
his
your
opinions
favourite
on
flavour
football
at crisp
are
at this point. No one wants Worcester.
That is what Charles has turned it into.
Facts.
No one wants. I agree. No one does want Worcester sauce. What I was going to say about Jurgen Klopp though is, oh no, I can't remember now. Charles always goes. Charles brings up Worcester sauce,
and
my-
everything.
My mind goes to
Oh,
mayhem.
Now Bill's hungry and everything.
Yeah,
Oh.
I actually am. So what do you
Bill
know-
can literally be buying a bus ticket, and I can just whisper there, Worcester sauce, and it's just, what am I even here for?
My brain is actually just.
Jurgen Klopp.
Oh no, Jurgen
self-entitled?
Klopp. Yeah, these big managers. Oh, I don't like the FA Cup. Oh, I don't like. Have you seen all this talk about the League Cup this week as well? Oh, David Moyes said change it to a British Cup. Guardiola and Klopp both said just get rid of it completely. All this, they say all these things, but if they want it, oh, it's part of my triple. You're happy to have it as part of your triple,
Yeah.
aren't you? Oh, look, Man City, we won the quadruple last year. You're happy to have it part of then, but as soon as you go out of it or your players get a bit injured, we don't want it anymore. Shut up.
Especially Guardiola. Have you the Man City squad depth?
Absolutely ridiculous.
Literally, Man City's third team could probably make
You have
a run
about
for that.
30 players that could easily play in that competition.
Yeah.
It's like those kids in primary school, the proper keeners, right? They proper try for like, oh, if you do the best in the spelling, you win a chocolate bar. And when they don't win the chocolate bar, well, I could just buy one anyway.
Yeah.
Go away.
Analogy.
It's like we all have like some really deep-rooted like issues that
Oh,
have,
man.
like chocolate bars and Worcester sauce.
No, 'cause there was
and they're
always
bringing it
the-
into football.
There was always those kids that would always say, oh, well, I can just go to the corner shop and buy one anyway. Then why did you try so hard in the first place? Yikes.
Regan, want to move on to your road trip?
Can do.
Beep beep, get back in the Jeep. It is time for Regan's road trip. He's been gone for about 6
The
weeks.
rust has been building up.
No. Regan was actually gone on his road trip for the whole time we've been away.
Right, okay.
He's only just got back.
Oh yeah,
Uh,
can you see my suntan? and
Yeah,
that?
you got a
No,
nice little
definitely,
tan
yeah.
going there, mate.
Right, the amount of notes I made, I showed them to you beforehand.
Yeah.
That's only we're only going like 3 different leagues.
Yeah.
But so much has happened because like, especially over the winter bit, I think the Prem was a bit boring around then.
Mm.
But then I think that like I did Bundesliga, Serie A, and La Liga. They actually were pretty entertaining. But yeah, we'll start off with the Bundesliga, where a lot has changed. Can we start off beforehand? We're confirmed we're off to see the Bundesliga.
We are. Me
In
and
March.
Regan won't be going to the Berlin derby when we go to Berlin. To be honest, the game would have been really nice to see the Berlin derby sort of like atmosphere.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
in terms of game-wise, we've had a big upgrade. We're going to watch Wolfsburg versus Borussia Dortmund. Go to see Marco Reus and the likes of Jadon Sancho live in before they play like some weekend side or
Yeah.
something. Yeah.
Champions League final next day.
I'm looking
Cheers.
forward to it though. Bit of
Wait, is it
Bundesliga
in
football.
Wolfsburg?
Yeah, it's in Wolfsburg. It's not far from Berlin. Wolfsburg.
Yeah,
okay.
I think we're getting the train there.
Right, but yeah, I think I'm pretty sure before we left it last time, Watch and Gladbach were like 3 points clear.
Mm-hmm.
They're
Top.
currently third.
Oh.
They're 5 points off, and they drew 0-0 against Hertha Berlin, and then lost 2-0 to Schalke.
Nice.
Fantastic.
If I'm sorry. If saying now, if Bayern Munich. are
I'll
top,
buy in a second.
Oh, they've caught up.
Yeah, Leipzig are top. They both won there because obviously Bundesliga have a winter break as well. They both got 6 points, and but I actually want to give credit to Bayern Munich right now, only because of their defense. Have you seen their defense?
No, but they've got the best German players, so I'm not that surprised.
Their two best centre backs of Soule and Hernandez, this French one, both ACL injuries, so they're both out for until next year. And then Kimmich has been moved to CDM. So their defence now is, that Alphonso Davies guy, the Canadian, playing left back.
Big up.
Alaba and Javi Martinez at centre back.
Big up.
And then Pavard at right back.
Jesus, that is actually pretty poor, isn't it?
And then they bought.
So they're buggered for the Champions League then.
And they just bought in, that Odriozola from Real Madrid, the Spanish right. Yeah, they bought him in. But it's like, when you think of Bayern Munich in the last few years, when you had Lahm, Boateng, Hummels and
Alaba.
Yeah, and then you think of
what they got now.
Javi Martinez,
some random Canadian.
Yeah,
some random
Davies, Pavard.
Probably not random one. He's a Bayern.
Yeah, they've only conceded 22 the whole season. It's still pretty good.
But Brentford conceded 21 this season. We've played 10 more games.
So Brentford are better than Bayern.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Well done, Regan.
That is weird to think though. Pontus Jansson could potentially get into the Bayern Munich starting lineup at the minute.
What do you mean potentially? He'd walk in there. He'd captain the side. He would lift the Bundesliga trophy.
Yeah.
Debate settled. But yeah, we'll talk since we are going to see him. We'll talk about Dortmund. Yeah, they're 2 points off the top three now. Because remember, before we left, they were 8th at one point.
Yeah.
8th or 9th.
7 points off top. Still plenty of time to go as well.
Yeah, but the main talking point is the debut man himself, Mr. Haaland.
Yeah.
What was
that?
Baller. Yeah. What was the thing about? He did the exact same thing as Aubameyang.
So I'm not sure. I know the exact. I know the like obviously the debut and the team was derived. I think the stat I did actually see though. So Haaland scored a hat trick on his debut, coming off the bench against Augsburg, which Aubameyang also did. And I believe their hat-tricks were both scored in 23 minutes as well, which is pretty mental. How they both did that on their debuts. They did the exact same thing. But Haaland looks... I mean, I only really seen him in the Champions League, but he looks a threat, doesn't he?
He does, yeah.
He looks like a proper... he's a beast as well. And he looks strange, but he's a beast.
He looks strange.
No, he does look strange.
Because when I saw him
he's a lot taller than I'd expect
I thought he
was
like 5'8". He's like 6'1".
Yeah.
Yeah, he's a lot taller than I expected.
And he's really fast for his height as well.
He's really good.
Yeah.
That's the thing with players like this. I like it when players make these choices. He's picked the best team he could have gone to in Borussia Dortmund. Attacking, counter-attacking, fast-paced like football, where you're in the Bundesliga. Where there is often quite a lot of goals in the Bundesliga, isn't there?
Yeah.
You can score a lot of goals, and it's just about when you're young, pick the team that is going to help develop you the best. And I think he's probably made the right decision rather than coming to the Premier League. To be honest,
I was going to compare it to like Mario Götze and the fact that when he joined. The first time he joined Dortmund, he was fantastic and then got moved to Bayern. Mm-hmm. But I hope that it won't be the case where he'll trail off,
replace Lewandowski,
then go back to Dortmund and basically won't play anymore.
I mean, it could potentially make sense for him to replace Lewandowski, but
he is getting on a bit.
Bayern Munich probably sat there and happily let Borussia Dortmund have him because they know in 5 years.
He's going to be much better.
Yeah. They probably did that.
It's in their best interest.
Yeah. But Haaland scored a hat trick he came on when Augsburg were 3-1 up and they won 5-3.
Yeah.
And and also that game.
I watched the goals as well. How open was it though?
I know.
Like, all the goals were literally like one-on-ones about 40 yards of space around them.
And Jadon Sancho scored the other one where as soon as Haaland came on, and actually Sancho is the first player in top 5 European leagues to get double figures in both goals and assists this season. 10 and 10.
Shows for people who say he's just skills and everything are completely wrong. He is.
People who say that must have damage to the brain.
Yeah. Jadon Sancho, especially with the injuries England are having now. Jadon Sancho's in that front three.
He could be that shining light in the Euros, genuinely.
Yeah. Him and Sterling on the wings.
Should we move on to another league, Regan?
In a minute. I've just got one more thing. You know the top scorer?
Lewandowski?
No.
Timo Werner's had a mental,
Yeah.
hasn't he? He's
Timo,
had an
it's Timo.
absolute-
They've both
Both
have
on 20.
20 goals.
76 minutes per goal.
Yeah,
for
Werner got 6 assists, Lewin 2, 76 minutes per goal.
That is mental. Seeing Jadon Sanchez 10 goals, 10 assists is really impressive.
It's
Just
really
looking-
satisfying,
Looking
isn't
at
it?
it, yeah.
But yeah,
Hot dogs.
we'll
and all
move
that
over.
stuff.
We'll move over to the Serie A now in Italy. You'll never guess who are top of the Serie A now.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
Oh,
Don't
please
tell
don't
me.
let it be. And can we just please keep the chat about Zlatan to a minimum because I hate that man.
Yeah, I didn't even include him.
Thank
I can't
you,
stand
Regan.
him.
Cheers.
Right, that's actually right. So
The
Juventus,
Brazilians,
Juventus
uh,
are top.
It's
so
Juventus.
Oh,
isn't
for
it? Yeah.
God's sake!
And Inter are actually 4 points off them now as well. Isn't it?
Juve have won 6 straight now, and it's actually only one man.
Lazio won 5 in a row and are still third.
Only one man is responsible for Juve doing so well right now.
Who's that?
It's Ronaldo.
It's Ronaldo like on a madness, is it?
He scored 7 games in his last 7 games.
He scored 7 games in his
No,
last
he
7
scored
games.
11 in his last 7
He's on
games.
16 goals, 93
Wow.
minutes per goal.
Look at Immobile.
Wow.
Look at Immobile.
My God. What?
He's not immobile.
He has got. He has scored 23 goals. It's not like he's done this this ratio of about 2 or 3 goals. 68 minutes per goal. What
He's actually the top scorer in all major leagues in the world.
That is absolutely insane. So he's basically single-handedly dragging Lazio up the league.
Yeah.
It takes me 68
And
minutes
can we
to get out
say
of bed.
and can we say Mancini doesn't even start him for Italy? He chooses Belotti.
One absolute.
Because I was literally about to say that because obviously I don't really watch. You know me. I don't really watch the other leagues other than by England. But that's what I love when it comes to Euros and World Cups. I get to see these players playing. I just love watching it. So instead, if he's not playing, that's a bit boring. I'm just watching some
Well, hopefully he.
boring Belotti.
Yeah.
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 He's got 9 goals.
In the last
Oh, what?
in the last 2 games, Ronaldo has set 2 brand new records.
Oh, I hate. I was sorry to interrupt you, but they come up with a record for anything.
Yeah.
Most headed goals when some player was looking the other way. Wow, Cristiano, you're the best. Yes, I know I am the best. I knew this record before I went into the game.
Yeah.
No, you didn't.
Ronaldo
Your
is
agent told
Ronaldo's is the second player in Juventus history to score in 7 consecutive games.
Well, that's just a poxy. I'm pretty sure Lys Mousset's scored 7 games in a row. Or something
Yeah,
like that.
Charles, I think you should better shut up.
The other one is
I don't think Mousset has scored stuff.
the other one is Trezeguet in 2006, and he's actually the second player ever to score a hat trick in the Prem, Serie A, and La Liga.
Who was the other again? I should know this. It's Alexis Sanchez.
Yeah,
There you go.
what a fall from grace he's had.
And that was his hat trick with Udinese, wouldn't it have been?
Yeah.
Back in the day.
But yeah, Immobile though,
Naughty, innit?
fantastic. Would you take him at Brentford though, Bill?
Watkins is on form, you know. Can you really split up BMW?
Yeah, you don't want BCW.
No.
Or
Bring him off the
BMC.
bench. Bring him off the bench. You know what? I'll take him in the squad. He can be in the 18.
Yeah, go on then.
I'll
we'll
take
have
him
him.
in the 18. Yeah.
Send him on loan to like
What
Wickham
a
next
load
season.
of
yeah.
rubbish. Wait, Regan, just out of interest, how's that team from Mexico doing?
I actually haven't looked.
They're not from Mexico either, are they? Aren't they?
Well,
from
no,
Venezuela?
Veracruz are.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Veracruz.
Should we have a look live on air how they're doing?
Shit, have they got any wins?
I mean, we know that
Up
we
the
know they have at
Veracruz,
least
say Up the
one.
Veracruz. Up the Veracruz. Say up the Veracruz. I feel like we need to buy a kit from Veracruz.
Yeah.
They're
feel
like
like you can find-
£70 on Amazon.
Oh, you must be able to find one second hand on like one of those
Must
like
be.
those football shirt sites. I've really
Where's the
derailed the
league?
podcast, haven't I? But I do want to know how well Veracruz are doing.
Are they 19th? Jesus.
They're above someone.
Have they got any wins? Regan, we need to know. Come on.
Well,
Regan.
I'm looking
Our friends
at it
over
right
in
now.
Veracruz.
I know. We gained so many.
Our partner
followers.
podcast called From the.
I think I'm looking.
No,
at
that
things.
would have been a bit.
Charles, shut up.
No, they've only won 1 game.
And that was the game that we were on about.
Yeah.
They haven't won since we chatted about them winning.
To be
Well,
fair, that was one of
their-
their last games of the season.
That
in
was
Mexico.
their first win, like 48 games, Charles. Why do you sound surprised?
Well, because you'd like to think it spurred them on at least a little bit. No,
Bit
no,
of form.
no. They've just lost all their games since.
They finished the season on 8 points.
What's their badge?
It's a
I
shark.
quite like it. Yeah, shark and a ball.
They
Why is
finished.
a
Well,
shark playing football?
Well, that's why they're losing so often.
Oh, yeah, they got sharks playing. They can't play on land. What are
They
doing?
finished
Yeah.
the season on 8 points,
8 points.
even though they only play 18 games. To be fair,
Not great, is it?
but still, Veracruz shirt coming soon to the FTT podcast. You heard it
Just
first.
as league disaffiliated from Liga MX on
they?
Wikipedia.
Oh,
Because they were that bad. Let's not look at that because
No.
this is going to be a
They-
Veracruz rabbit hole.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, we'll move on to the last league, which is. Oh no, what's happening?
Right.
I've seen the golden era, maybe like.
It was
Carry
when
on,
they won
carry
their
on,
one
Regan,
game.
carry
It was
on.
the week when they won
the-
their game.
The golden era. The
One week.
1 week. The final league is La Liga, and it feels like it's 2012 again because Barca and Real are the only 2 teams because Atletico Madrid are third and they're 8 points behind.
I mean, Regan, you act like I'm going to be surprised.
No, because like when you compare them to like 3 years ago when they had Xavi and Iniesta against Ronaldo and Marcelo in his prime.
I'm sorry, but look at the
You
points.
still have them now.
Surely the points tallies weren't. I mean, I'm not saying obviously they've picked up a bit, but
Like,
They're
Barca
not-
and Real aren't the superpowers they used to be. Are.
No.
I mean, I know Real won those 3 Champions Leagues in a row, but even in that period, they weren't doing very well in the league.
Liverpool, Man
Like, it
City
was
are
just
best 2 leagues in the world, best 2 teams in the world.
Yeah.
Liverpool is a league now.
yeah.
Well, yeah, they wanted to disaffiliate from England. They don't
Oh,
think
yeah.
Scousers
The
don't think
Scouse
themselves as
League
English.
with Aldershot.
Look at Atletico's record. I know they've only lost 3, but they've got 9 wins, 8 draws. Not that impressive, is it?
But yeah, Real Madrid second on goal difference. They haven't lost in 11 in the league, and they've won 7 of them. With Barca undefeated in 9, winning 6. But sacked the manager.
Who did? Oh yeah,
Barca.
Barca. Yeah.
Yeah, he's
for
dreadful,
For some
innit?
reason, you're happy.
He's absolutely
Uh,
diabolical.
Top of the league.
He's terrible.
Top
of the league.
They're terrible.
Regan,
He's
I have
terrible.
no input. Why are you so happy about Barca being sacked? Is the problem here?
He's just
Oh,
a
that's
terrible manager.
Well, yeah, but we're terrible podcast hosts. You don't want us being sacked, do you?
I'd actually take.
Who would-
I'd take offence to that. Actually, I think we're world class.
Okay, yeah, to be honest.
still-
We're like Spurs. We have nobody pushing us to, we're
Yeah.
getting
Did
complacent.
you see on
Yeah.
David Riley's presentation? We were someone's most liked podcast.
Yeah.
We don't know who it was.
That's true.
What?
It could have been anyone.
If the camera catches my genuine look of shock, I turn up every week.
Charles doesn't realise. You know, like when you have like, your presentations, you have to go on menti.com and everyone puts in their own things. Nah, it definitely wasn't me and Regan who put from the
Nah,
first podcast. No. We got some big fans out there.
Oh, brilliant.
It was Mr. Charles like, what, we're most liked podcast?
Well, I didn't think we were top of the iTunes charts.
We can't even get on iTunes at the moment because they don't like our artwork.
Oh, brilliant.
Yeah, but in on the injury front, like Real Madrid, they've just got Benzema and Hazard back after they've been
Oh,
injured.
Hazard's been a bit of a flop, hasn't he?
He's barely played, to be fair.
Mm.
Yeah, I think he had a really bad leg injury, but he's back now. And in the same time, Luis Suarez is out for the season for Barca. So he's had a surgery on his knee, and he's out for like 5 months.
That's
Which is
probably the end
great.
of his career, isn't it?
Doesn't affect the
I
Euros,
don't-
so I'm not that bothered.
He's 33 now, Suarez.
Yeah, to be fair, still a beast on FIFA. Jack knows, but isn't that right, Jack? Suarez is a bit of a beast on FIFA, isn't he? Not as beast as
He's-
Abubakar Kamara.
He's all right.
Yeah, Abubakar Kamara's better. But yeah, basically Messi's still top scorer. Imagine my shock. But yeah, that's about it.
Cool.
Well, I'm Regan.
Road trip. I've got an idea instead of the quiz this week,
Okay.
just to fill in the fact that
Don't
I.
sound so enthusiastic, Bill.
Well, it's just Charles' one segment, and now it's gone. Like,
Well, I kind of got bored of doing it. So this week, to fill up for the fact that I said I'd do something, didn't do it. I thought of something on the spot. So this question out to the fans. Bill can put a
All
thing on
5
Twitter.
of them.
yeah.
Who is your hated player, which you don't really have that much of a reason for hating? So mine's Calvert-Lewin.
Okay,
Bill's-
so you going to do like a new question every week?
I'll do a new question
yeah,
every week.
Right.
Bill's can be what's his name? Jay Adams. I know he's not really
Yeah.
like you do hate him a lot more.
I do hate
Regan?
Jack Grealish.
Jack Grealish, Wanye.
Got anyone to unroom? comes through to mind. I know it's
Someone
one-
that like
I'm
you
not- I'm
give
sure-
them a
I'm
lot
su-
of hate, but they really don't deserve that much. But it's just you're like, oh,
Charles, I don't know if you.
Oh, Wayne just
Che
loves
Adams
everyone.
does deserve it.
Just anyone who plays for Brighton. Really.
Jack. Anyone who really grinds your gears?
Anyone who plays for
really?
Newcastle.
Joe Linton.
Pompey players.
I'd say Jordan Pickford, but I have a good reason for that, don't I?
Why?
But no, you just you. There
Oh,
is no
so-
good reason to hate Jordan
Is he
Pickford.
2 feet taller than you?
He's 2 feet taller than you.
Right. So I'll do that every week. I think I'll do that along
Okay.
with a quiz.
Okay, yeah, we'll get the names out there. So most hated player, and you don't really know why.
You kind of
We
got
do-
something, but
we
then
do have something against them,
but then
like,
it,
You just
it's
see
like,
him
it
play.
boils your
annoys
blood.
you.
there's no real reason to hate
No,
them.
it boils
Yeah.
your blood every time you see them. But if someone asked you why you hate them, you just be like, don't know.
I reckon I've got ones that are higher than Che Adams, and I might think about it and say it on the next podcast. But we'll give Che Adams as mine for now because I do hate him.
Well done, Che. Well done.
Anyway, wrap it up now. We're back, babe. We're back in business.
Yeah.
We'll be back next week. What was I gonna
Don't
say?
sound
Oh,
too
yeah.
excited.
No, sorry, yeah. Oh yeah, we're gonna say thank you to Brentford Daily, obviously the top boys. Anyone who's Brentford's a big man with us, aren't they? Because they've made edited for our end screen, and also we should have something in the little corner of the screen because we look really professional now, won't we? We'll look,
You don't sound
yeah,
it.
Yeah, I'm sorry, you in the corner with like your legs crossed on your.
Have you seen how my back is in absolute stitches right now because of this camera? Oh.
Alright,
Anyway.
remember to follow us on our socials. They'll all come up now. Thank you to Brentford Daily, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you next week.